Well, this is the 9th Cape Farewell expedition. Again, looking at climate change. On board the Nordic, we have a brilliant international group of scientists and artists working together, trying to understand how this incredibly wild northern Arctic landscape is being changed by a warming planet.
One reason why we are interested in coming here is because biogeochemically this is a really interesting part of the world, because the waters are very cold, so they are taking up CO2. So this is considered one of the largest carbon dioxide sinks on Earth. What we call ocean acidification is a result of increasing carbon dioxide levels. What happens is that we humans, since the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, have been putting more carbon dioxide into the atmosphere, and this carbon dioxide is in equilibrium with carbon dioxide in seawater. So the water is becoming more acidic, and these more acidic waters are becoming a concern for organisms like theropods. These are kind of like water butterflies. As they feed, they move up and down in the water column, just like butterflies do, and they carry these shells that are highly susceptible to dissolution. And dissolution of the shells happens as a result of changes in chemistry of seawater.
1.27 at the top, 3.17 deep down. Two layer.
Big difference.
Big difference.
Okay.
Although the levels of CO2 are not unprecedented in the history of Earth, the rate of increase is probably the fastest, well, it's definitely the fastest we have seen in human history, and probably the fastest that the Earth has seen in the last 50 million years.
The environment, of course, is something that we all, one level or another, have to deal with. So the whole notion of how urban culture somehow is divorced from the environment is always very amusing to me. For me, the city is a kind of a generative engine right now. When you think about the sound of the city, if you look at America from above, it's always the grid. So there's this kind of rigid, orthogonal logic to hip-hop and techno and stuff like that.
And the transitions there.
Yeah, okay, go.
Count it.
So I've been looking at what Simon's been up to with his analysis of water, what Deborah has been up to with her kind of search for the pteropod material, and the life cycle of this kind of region. I wanted to look more at patterns of air movement, water currents, trying to figure out how do you mesh these rhythms. How do you think about the planet itself as a series of patterns, and looking at sound as a way of navigating these patterns.
I spend a lot of time thinking about the future and thinking about what kinds of health risks are going to exist in a world where we have a radically different climate environment.
What you learn about climate change is that actually you can't go head on at it. And you understand it, that, okay, yeah, we've got to do something about it because the science says we've got to do something about it. But at the end of the day, it's a cultural responsibility. It's the way we live that is causing climate change.
There are decisions that society can make in how to reduce carbon emissions, how to reduce greenhouse gases, how to live more sustainably.
The positive thing, I think, is this generation is trying very hard now to leave a different inheritance in the energy mix of future generations. And maybe, part of that is going back to what is very obvious in terms of wind, waves, tides, and away from fossil fuels.